but I'm picking. I've been on a huge Thin Lizzy kick lately. You know, everyone knows, like, you know, the boys are back in town. You know, those like songs you hear all the time on the radio. But I don't think they didn't really hit it big here in America. They're an Irish band, hard rock band from the '70s. But yeah, I picked their fourth album, Nightlife. Came out. Let's see if I have the. 1974. They were kind of doing a lineup change. You got Phil Lynott fronting the band, playing bass, amazing vocalist. I guess they got two new guitar players. The signature thing with Thin Lizzy is the dueling guitars or whatever. And I think this album is kind of where they kind of started that sound. But also at the same time, this is like this album has different influences than all the other ones. This one has a lot of soul and like funk influences, but it's still like a hard rock album. They still obviously have that, but you can hear a lot of the string arrangements and like the way they sing on some songs, like "Still in Love with You," are very like soulful. But yeah, I just think this album is just super interesting. That's kind of why I chose it. I've just been listening like a lot. Like I'd say like half of the songs I think are like amazing, and then some of the other half I think are just like good like hard rock songs. Like the opening track, "She Knows," is like such a good pop song with like awesome guitar solos in it. And then the next song is The Nightlife, which is a Willie Nelson cover that they do their own thing on, basically. And it doesn't sound really anything like it. I mean, it's like a totally different song. And then I think the third track, "Still in Love with You," I think is like now like my favorite Thin Lizzy song. It's just so it's so smooth, and like the guitar solos are like insane on it. I just can't even describe it. And yeah, like I said, throughout the whole thing, there's like these amazing like string arrangements. But it's weird, like after this album, like there's nothing else sounds like that, which is kind of interesting. And then there's like these other like two like songs that I think are really cool, like Frankie Carroll, which is like a little tune. I don't even know what it's about. I guess it's like something about like his guy down on his luck or something. I don't know. But yeah, it has like all those like 70s like strings and stuff, which I think is cool. And then there's that one song, Banshee, which is like just 2 minutes, but it's just like an instrumental, like awesome guitar leading song. It's like so cool. And it's so short, but it's awesome. Anyway, I think it's a super interesting album. And I just wanted to talk about it. So I'd love to hear what you guys thought.
I really enjoyed this album. I almost wish it was only the guitars the entire time, because I love the guitar sound in this whole album. I thought it was just like really good classic hard rock driving guitars. The soloing is fantastic. The general sound they get otherwise is great too. I was almost disappointed every time the guitar solo stopped and it went back to just, you know, the vocalist singing the lyrics. I didn't care about that as much. But I really liked the creativity in it too. I thought there was a lot of different sounds that, you know, I really only know Thin Lizzy from Boys Are Back in Town. So this was definitely a lot different from that. And I really enjoyed it because of that.
Yeah, I'll go next. I really like this album as well. It's interesting because it's like you can kind of see why people don't know it as well, because it's not quite as poppy. There's not quite as many catchy like choruses, or there's no "Boys Are Back in Town" type song in it. But it just listens really well. It's just a really, really solid listen. The guitars and the instrumentals are great. Some of my favorite moments in this Thin Lizzy songs are when Phil, the singer, right? Phil's like the main singer. That's his first name.
Yeah.
He gets really, really soulful and has that soul influence, and that's all over this album. "Still in Love with You" is like awesome. Those guitars are so good. So yeah, it's a really great album. I probably don't like it as much as like their other albums. for some of their like more popular albums, but it's still just a really solid listen in their like discography, and you know, any fan would.
I don't think
like
it's as consistently as good as their other
Yes,
albums,
yes.
but I just think it's so different and interesting.
It is really different than the more popular albums, but yeah, and some of the songs are like, but it's just a really good listen through and through, you know.
Matt, this album literally almost killed me. I was returning from a 4-hour drive from Iowa, and it was playing right as I was hitting Chicago rush hour traffic, and I was about ready to just get out my car and leave it right there on the side of the highway. I was so upset and angry for various reasons, but this album just was at the right time, just making me just hate my life. And I said, okay, this isn't fair. So I came back to it a couple of days later after letting it breathe, and I'm feeling a little bit better about it now. Now, obviously, that first listen through kind of still marked me a little bit. So, you know,
I can see that
PTSD.
happening. It's kind of a heavy album, you know what I mean? It's a little, you know.
Well, I wouldn't even call it heavy as much, but it just, to me, was just kind of like first listen through, like, you know, oh, okay, some, you know, traditional classic rock, nothing sticking out to me. Second listen, I went back and I, you know, was a little bit more critical of it, but in a good way. I appreciated kind of some of the other elements that were coming in, and I thought first listen through everything was blending together, and then, you know, the second time I was like, oh wow, you know, this song actually sticks out. This is a little bit more soulful, or you know, I like this just, you know, interlude they got going, right? The 2-minute guitar track, like it's cool, and the way that it flowed made sense to me outside of that first element. But no, I did enjoy it too. And you know, I think I actually might come back to this album and give them another shot, because I only knew Boys Are Back in Town. So it's
yeah,
cool
they
to
got a lot of
expand
other
that
great
little bit.
stuff too.
They're much
Yeah.
better than Boys Are Back in Town.
Yeah, there's a lot of good songs that they have. They're just.
I mean, don't diss that song. That song's
Yeah,
still,
I love that song too. I don't know. Jet doesn't like that song. We've talked about it.
I mean, it's fine. It's just kind of got written by
Yeah,
us,
that's fair.
you know.
There
We
are,
ruined it.
I just think this. I just thought it would be fun to talk about this one. Like I said, like similar to you guys, I think like some of the songs are a little bit like not as memorable, like the harder rock songs on the album. But like I still think they're good, obviously. So I don't know. I don't think it's like a consistently amazing, but like when the songs like hit, they hit so well. Like the first 4 songs are just like amazing. So I'm gonna give it like a 7.5. Nightlife, Thin Lizzy.